Welcome back to news you're just not seeing enough of in the United States. First, we can't even begin this conversation without talking about what just happened in Washington, D.C. Donald Trump told a room full of top brass, admirals, generals, etc., that they either needed to get on board with his vision or leave the room and give up their rank, their title, their retirement. His vision? That the military should be focused domestically and use major U.S. democratic cities as training grounds. Yes, you heard me correctly. He wants the military to be turned against the American people. This is coming on the heels of the executive order that was signed on the 22nd that labeled Antifa a domestic terrorist organization. Now, if you remember, Antifa isn't actually an organization. It literally stands for anti-fascist, basically people who believe that fascism is bad. Now, everybody who believes that statement to be true and never says anything about it could now be labeled as a domestic terrorist. There was a separate memorandum that went on to further explain ways in which this could be explored, right? The IRS could be used, organizations who contribute funding or support for DEI initiatives or racial justice, social justice issues could now be deemed aiding and abetting domestic terrorism. Just to make sure we all are on the same page, that means your First Amendment right is gone entirely. Pete Hegseth then went on to say, when addressing this group of admirals and generals, that they were going to be holding them to the highest of male standards. And if you are a woman or a weak man who cannot meet the standards, that you're out. He also said you're not allowed to be fat because he doesn't want to see fat generals walking through Quantico. And he just thinks it's a quote unquote bad look. This meeting also rolled out branding around the Department of War and making it clear the Department of Defense is gone. We are now only the Department of War. And let me remind you that Trump said it himself today, that the Department of War and all of the military should be focusing their attentions domestically. That means you. Speaker Johnson apparently locked the doors and was like, we won't have any bipartisan conversations, which means we should expect a government shutdown tomorrow or tonight at midnight. So October 1st, going into October 1st, the government is basically going to be shut down with the exception of the office of the president. And the military will still be expected to serve despite the fact that their paychecks aren't coming. Now, people who receive Social Security, who receive any food stamps, who are still part of any of these programs that are federally funded, you may not be getting those. There have also been reports that 120,000 federal employees are planning to walk out in the largest sort of walkout stage, quit, leaving in history. So in addition to this government shutdown, they're just like, we're not coming back. And we may not feel it right now, but we will feel that brain drain, that institutional knowledge, that knowledge of how systems work. We will feel that globally. I'm going to pause here because there is so much more to cover that happened on the international stage. So stay tuned for part 2. As always, stay safe and please like, comment, and share. Videos of this kind of information keep getting suppressed. And so we need you, the people, to make sure that the people see what's going on. It's up to us now.
Well,